I don't really care because he's made no attempt to resolve these.
So this is the first time hearing it.
I know. So are you in a position to make a commitment to some kind of regular payments? All right. So go down and talk to, you know, if Avery's here today?
He was.
I think he is. Go downstairs today. You're going to go to the probation counter. You're going to schedule those meetings I talked to you about. At the same counter, talk to Mr. Taylor about this $3,800. He'll give you some options on how you can get these closed out. But we got to get these files closed.
Fred on the side.
Thank you. Sir, did you discuss your rights and options with counsel? Did you discuss your rights and options with counsel? Did you understand those rights and the options they give you? Do you understand the possible penalty for the added charge of aggravated assault? Are you pleading guilty to that charge? Are you pleading no contest to that charge? You understand that when you say no contest, you're literally saying to me, Judge, I'm not fighting the charge. You understand that? If you plead no contest, and if I find the facts to accept the plea, to support that plea, then we're going to go forward and you'll be sentenced at some point. You understand that? And you're pleading no contest freely and voluntarily. Who's going to provide the facts I need?
I think I can do it, Judge.
Go ahead.
I'm going to ask you a handful of questions, or actually I'm just going to lay this actual data based on the investigator's report that on November 2nd of 2025, Van Buren Township Police responded to the location of 119 Peachtree Lane, that's in Van Buren Township in Plain County, for a disturbance between family members. Teresa Crowder, the complaining witness, stated that she got into an argument with her sister, Lisa Stocks, that ultimately Mr. Stocks, standing next to me, entered the room, took Isabella, her daughter's phone, stomped on the device, then grabbed Teresa's wrist and forced her onto the couch. And during the struggle, Teresa was scratched. So with that, Judge, I would be satisfied with the factual basis.
Mr. Kaplan, satisfied?
Excuse me. Just that it wasn't intentional injury.
Sounded like it. You're satisfied the facts are there? All right, I'll accept the plea. I'll dismiss counts 1, 2, and 3 from the original complaint. I'm inclined to send for a pre-sentence investigation unless you guys try to talk me out of it. Prefer a PSI?
It's because it's a restitution.
Oh, okay, that's a good reason.
Say that now, then we would not need.
That didn't talk me out of it.
Understood. We can do a pre-sentence report, Judge.
All right. All right, Mr. Stocks, it's Stocks, right? Stocks? All right, Mr. Stocks, I'm going to send you down to my probation department. They're going to schedule for you to come back for a pre-sentence interview, just a sit-down interview with one of the probation officers. Based on that interview, they'll put together a report and recommendation for sentencing. You'll come back for sentencing. You, your attorney, myself will have a look at that report. We'll talk about that report and anything else you want to talk about, and then I'll sentence you then. Understood? Counsel, anything else?
If you don't mind, I would like to indicate in advance that we are seeking, I know the probation department will do it.
Go ahead.
For the damaged telephone, I don't know the amount of the damages, might be some.
Just get that into the probation department. Okay.
And Your Honor, if I can just, I don't know if the court has a copy of the plea form in front of it.
I don't have a plea form.
Just ask people to tender it so that everything is accurate, and I want it just to make sure it reflects 771.
Sure. All right. Anything else on this file?
No.
All right. Mr. Stocks, you owe us $3,816 on files going back to 2023. What are you going to do with it?
Judge, can I inquire about how many, please?
I have no idea.
Would it be possible?
I don't really care because he's made no attempt to resolve these.
Judge, this is the first time hearing it.
I know. So are you in a position to make a commitment to some kind of regular payments? All right. So go down and talk to, you know, if Avery's here today?
He was.
I think he is. Go downstairs today. You're going to go to the probation counter. You're going to schedule those meetings I talked to you about. At the same counter, talk to Mr. Taylor about this $3,800. He'll give you some options on how you can get these closed out. But we got to get these files closed. All right. So you can do straight payments. You can do some kind of payment and some community service charity work. Taylor can give you those options.
I have the clerk, if they're waiting, will they use to reduce outstanding balance?
Not unless he can cash everything out. That's the only way I'll waive late fees if he cashes everything out at the same time.
On disability, we was in an accident several years ago that resulted in short-term memory loss.
Very good.
we had a seizure, disorder and would be undisability.
I've answered your question. The only way I waive late fees, just straight out waive them, is if he cashes everything else out. So if he wants to talk to friends and family and come up with some money, then let's make a deal it. Other than that, he can go down and talk about charity work to take care of some of the fines and costs.
The judge will wait on the time.
Probation will tell you that. All right.
One last matter, I don't mean to sound technical level. But we do have, there was a prohibition regarding contact.
If I may, that pertains to a different defendant.
No, it's the defendant's relative.
Same defendant, different victim.
Anyway, we would just ask you to warn the people not to have contact. Case at this point, until,
Okay.
at least until sunset.
Okay.
I would just know the document you just showed me pertains to Lisa Stocks, who is his
Oh,
wife.
okay.
So.
All right. All right. So it sounds like this is kind of a
Family just.
tumultuous family situation. People, put it all on ice. Let me get through sentencing with Mr. Stocks.
Sir, have a seat. Can you please state your full name to the record and spell it? Sir, I'm going to need you to speak a little bit louder because you're.
Yeah.
Again, a little bit louder. John Rivers.
That's working. You catching him? Charlie? Go ahead.
Sir, can you please spell your name to the record?
It's A-U-I-Y-O-N.
And your last name?
Rivers, R-I-V-E-R-S.
Thank you. Sir, I'm going to take you back to the date of October 4th, 2025. Were you at the Detroit Metro Airport on that day?
Yes, sir.
And is that located in the city of Romulus, County of Wayne?
Yes, sir.
And where specifically at the airport were you on that date?
I was assigned to gate bridges 61 through 68.
And are you employed by the Detroit Metro Airport?
No longer.
On that date, were you employed there?
Yes.
What was your position?
Janitorial position.
And on that date, did something occur while you were working that brings you to court today?
Yes.
And where did it happen? Where in the airport did it occur?
67.
And what occurred?
I was choked.
By who?
Brooklyn, Hayes, Butler.
Do you see him in here in the court today?
Yes.
Can you please point to that person and point out an article of clothing that person is wearing?
He has on the black and the red flannel. Hold, right behind you.
Noted.
Thank you. And you indicated he had choked you,
Yes.
and how did that begin? And sir, I'll ask you to keep your attention on me, okay?
I was attempting to clean the jet bridge. I had my rag in my hand. And I just was told to drop the rag, take a step back, but there were no cameras. I was confused because I thought he wasn't even on the jet bridge.
And who made these statements to you?
Brooklyn, Hayes, Butler.
And what happened next?
I was striked and then assaulted, just
How,
choked.
who struck you?
Brooklyn, Hayes, Butler.
And where did he strike you?
I can't remember. He snuck me.
And do you recall how he struck you? Was it with his hand? Was it with an object? What do you recall, if anything?
His face,
He struck you with his face?
upon his face.
And what do you recall next?
I asked him why.
And what did he say in response?
He said, "Be quiet, you're too loud."
And then what happened next?
I asked why.
And what happened after that?
I was gone.
Do you recall anything else before you were gone?
I asked why.
And did you receive any response?
No, sir.
Do you recall anything else?
No, sir.
So you don't recall how you were struck? Sir, nodding is not an
I
acceptable
was striked.
answer. It's yes or no.
And then choked, leading the striker.
How were you choked?
Uh,
Was anyone else behind you that you know of?
no, no, sir.
And how do you know you were choked?
I was asking to get the chokehold off and no,
So you were put in a chokehold?
yes, sir.
What were you put in a chokehold by?
Arms,
And whose arms, if you know?
Brooklyn Hayes Butler.
And how long were you in a chokehold by Mr. Butler for?
No clue.
And did you have any trouble breathing when you were put in a chokehold?
Correct.
It's a yes or no.
Yes.
And at any point during that chokehold, did you lose consciousness?
Yes.
And when you recall waking up after that?
Yes.
Where were you when you woke up?
Jet bridge.
And what do you remember next? If anything. After waking up, you recall anything else, doing anything else?
I was told this was a one-on-one fight.
Sir, I won't ask you to tell me what another person said. What do you recall happening next?
Brooklyn Hayes Butler told me this is a one-on-one fight and escaped the jet bridge. Walked off the jet bridge. I was still on the ground.
Did you call the police?
No.
Why not?
Told my coworker. They asked me what was going on. I told my coworker that I was into an altercation on the jet bridge.
Did you sustain any injuries?
Yes, sir.
What injuries did you sustain?
Neck contusion, scars, scratches, a lot of scratches on my forehead.
Did you get any medical treatment for your injury?
Yes.
What treatment did you receive?
No treatment. I just went to the hospital. They told me I had neck contusions.
Prior to this incident, did you know Mr. Brooklyn Butler?
We were friends. I thought.
How long were you friends for?
5th, 7th grade.
And sir, during that interaction where the defendant was choking you, how did you feel in that moment?
I just started to give up.
How did you feel?
Nothing.
Were you in fear?
I just gave up.
What did you think was gonna
I
happen?
asked for help. I called for help. Who's gonna help?
Why did you ask for help?
Because I couldn't breathe. I was blacking out. Everything was going numb. Everything was going quiet.
Understood. No further questions.
Everything was going black.
Mr. Gozi, your witness.
Mr. Rivers is. Your name is Mr. Rivers?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Mr. Rivers, you said you've known, my client since about the. Is that what you said? Mr. Rivers,
Yes.
you indicated that you've known my client since around the 7th grade, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that would have been approximately what, about 8 years? How old were you in this?
I have no clue.
But it's been a number of years that you've known him since school, is that correct?
Yes.
You seem incredibly agitated. Okay, Rivers.
Yes.
Rivers, were you prescribed any psychotropic medication when this incident was going on?
No, sir.
Judge, I'm going to object.
It goes to his ability, credibility, also goes to his ability to proceed.
What's your objection?
Lack of foundation and relevance.
I just gave the relevance. and
I agree.
asked questions.
I agree. Overruled. Go ahead.
We already doctor's care and prescribed you psychotropic medication prior to this addiction.
No, sir.
Nothing since.
No, sir.
So you were at work on that particular day. And you did or did not know at that moment in time, back in the state, that Mr. Butler was also with you.
No,
So you did not know he was with
no,
you. And when you saw him, this friend of yours, for 7 years, you obviously
he's not my friend.
Well, you testified earlier today, when the prosecution asked you questions, that you two have been friends since about 7th grade. So were you his friend or were you not his friend?
Probably.
So when you saw him for the first time, after you started working there on that particular day, you said, "Hey, Brooklyn, this me." Or what's the that? Because you all.
Judge, I'm going to object. That's hearsay.
It's actually this witness's testimony.
Not hearsay.
Did you say anything like that? No, it's in your presence, Stephen?
No.
Were you wearing a mask on that day?
Yes.
Okay. And you also had, I think, a do-rag or a rag on your head, or something covering your hair, is that true?
No.
No, just a mask covering your face? And this happened on the jetway as you described, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, your job doesn't put you on the jetway, that's for employment, maybe your job. It does.
They do.
Okay. What part of the airport did this happen on? Specifically, the east side?
Delta International side, gate bridges 61 through 68. I was assigned.
You were assigned to that one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you have a card or was that your regular routine assignment for that day?
That was my regular assignment.
You were always assigned to that location?
Yes.
Okay. And you had, did you have to punch in to go to work that day?
Yes.
Okay. And they have like an electronic register of you checking into the job and where you're supposed to be and not supposed to be, true?
Yes.
So pretty strict about where you guys go in the airport because of the security issues, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And when you originally first saw him though, you saw Brooklyn going into the employee cafeteria, correct?
No.
And then you punched in a code following him into that cafeteria.
No.
And then you actually struck,
No.
And you had testified earlier today that Mr. Butler had dragged you to a place where there was no camera, correct?
Yes.
But there were cameras.
Judge, the witness is attempting to answer the attorney's question, so I'll ask for the court to kind of just instruct on that.
Done.
And then you said that after he had, whisked you away or taken you to a place where there was no cameras, you complied with that?
No.
Were you, carried to that location?
No.
Were you, taken from behind and dragged to that location?
No.
So if that had happened in the area of the airport, that means that there would have been cameras there. If that person wants to take you from away from the cameras, to take you to a place where there are no cameras, you would agree with that logic, true?
I'm not understanding.
So if this is the area, when I'm standing right by the juror box, probably where juror seat number 1 would be. Juror, you look at this, thank you. If this is where the cameras are,
Correct.
and the person comes to you and wants to take you to a place where there's no cameras, which would be, let's say, right in front of this, which we'll call this juror seat number 3. That means that they would have had to walk past all of these cameras with you in tow to get you right.
I'm going to object, this is compound.
No, it's not. It's actually.
It's a more direct question, it's almost like a story that's being told, so I'm going to ask for the court to inform the defense to ask.
Give me a legal objection. Bad question is not a legal objection. No, it's not.
Thank you. Do you want me to go back over that? Did you understand that? No, you don't want me to?
Basically, you are asking me what you done?
If he was to have taken you here and said, I need you to come over here, because there's no cameras over here in front of juror seat number 3, because there are cameras over here in Jersey number one. There should be some cameras that would have been filming that whole thing, taking you all the way to where.
Objection, call for speculation.
So you know that there's cameras there, because you work there, you've been maintenance, right?
Yes.
There's cameras over there where he originally came up to you, sure?
There's cameras everywhere.
Everywhere, there's cameras everywhere. And you said that when he came upon you, that he took you from behind, and that was where the cameras were, but he's wanted you to be quiet, so that they can take you to a place where there's no cameras, right?
I did not say that.
So, but he did take you,
I said I would strike and then
you were,
pull from behind.
oh,
I manipulated my words a bit.
so the striking happened on camera, and where the cameras would have been.
Yeah, let him answer that.
Sorry, so the striking would have happened where the cameras took place, true?
And the airport said that their cameras.
I'm not saying what the airport said, I want to hear what you have
I'm
to
not sure what
say.
the cameras
Sir,
said.
sir, I want to hear what you have to say based on your experience working at this airport all this time. So when he struck you, that would have been in view of the cameras, true?
Judge, objection,
What is the objection?
lack of knowledge.
Yes.
Let's try it this way. All right, so if I remember your testimony, you said that at some point you were struck, right? At some point he hit you, right?
Correct.
Okay, and at some point he said, let's go where there's no cameras, right?
Correct.
Which one happened first?
First, struck.
He struck you and then he said, let's move to where there's no cameras.
First, I was told, let's go where there's no cameras. Then I got struck.
Okay, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to establish the order.
So the conversation you had about, let's go someplace where there's no cameras, would have happened in view of cameras, am I right? That was a question to you. Emotional risk.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So there are some cameras of the two of you interacting, but not the actual assault. Is that what your testimony is?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, isn't it true, sir, that the two of you had a falling out sometime in July, well, if I'm not mistaken, this year, maybe the year before, over some money?
Yes.
Okay. And your friendship dissolved as a result of that, true?
We had a fallout with robbery. Was that related? Police, reported anything special.
How tall is? How tall are you?
The 5'9", 5'10".
You probably looks a bit taller than that. That's a bit good. Well, no, for 7+ years. You agree with me, he's taller than you. True.
Your point?
And my question is, you would agree with me, he's taller.
Yes.
Well, maybe stronger than you.
Is that a question?
If you would agree with me, he's stronger than you. Sure.
Objection, call for speculation.
He would know, since he's the one who's claiming he was assaulted.
Let's do it this way. Do you know whether or not he's stronger than you?
No.
Move on.
You know, the injuries that she sustained, says you were shows. Was there any photographs that were taken to show the injuries to you next? Is that another one? You said you went to the hospital. What hospital did you go to?
Trenton, Henry Ford.
Was that the same day?
Yes, sir.
And you were discharged that same day?
Yes, sir.
And did you provide that medical records to the prosecution or to the police officer?
Sir.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Did you get statements into the office about what happens on that day? You know what happened?
Yes.
It was, you know, they take it. No.
Sure.
Following out there, we talked about, I'm sorry to jump backwards in time, you can't see it. The following up that happened a few months ago, back in July, the situation, when the police involved. You felt slighted that you didn't get that, money that belonged to you versus money that's not. We're sure you did see, you know, what you felt. Thank you.
Mr. Mohammed, so you can step down. Watch your step on my ramp. Any other witnesses from the people?
The final witness is Detective Mace.
Kevin, I'm with the judge.
Judge, defense counsel clearly is attempting to raise some sort of issue in regards to the legal discovery and whether there's existence of footage that may or may have not captured this incident. I would like there to be a clear record of the officer in charge's attempts to locate any such evidence and essentially see if there's any other relevant discoverable footage that exists that's out there that we don't have, or I just want to clear that up for the record.
Okay,
And also, just as one additional item is, in regards to medical records.
swear affirm, tell the truth, all truth, nothing but the truth. Settle in.
Good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon.
If you can, please state your full name for the record and spell it.
Joseph Nace, Joseph, last name Nace, Nehs.
Detective, are you currently employed?
I am,
Who's your employer?
airport police at Detroit Metro.
And in what capacity are you employed with?
I am a detective, in the detective bureau.
And how are you associated with this case?
I was tasked with investigating this case.
And what is your role associated with this specific case? Are you the officer in
I
charge?
am an officer in charge.
And as part of the duties associated with that role, what do they consist of?
Basically interviewing, both sides, both parties and parties involved, witnesses, victims.
And as part of your investigation associated with this case, were you able to locate any digital discovery that's associated?
To a certain degree.
Yes, and the items that you were able to locate, what were they and what did you do with them upon locating them?
The items that we were, able to locate were the body worn camera footage, which was uploaded. And I conducted an interview, with Mr. Butler, and that was also uploaded.
And in regards to the incident, were you able to find the location where this incident occurred?
Not on camera.
Okay, but were you able to determine where that location was at the airport?
Verbally, yes.
And did you make that location?
No, I did not make the scene.
To the best of your knowledge, do you know if there's any cameras in the vicinity of where this incident occurred?
There will be cameras in the vicinity that are posted, kind of like these speakers or cameras here along the concourse. Essentially kind of give a broad overview of the concourse from a distance.
And pursuant to your investigation, were you able to determine whether or not those captured any portion of this
I was
incident?
unable to determine.
And were you able to locate any footage that did cover this incident?
No,
Did you attempt to locate such evidence?
I did.
And were you successful?
I was not.
And for the record, is all the relevant and discoverable,
Objection is to relevant, that's for the court to make it.
agreed.
is there any digital, to your knowledge, that exists that was not uploaded to evidence.com?
Not to my knowledge, no.
In regards to the medical records, Was there ever an attempt during this case or even to this date, an attempt to recover any medical records from the victim?
There was.
And at any point, even leading up to this date, has any medical records been presented to you by the victim?
I have not received.
Thank you, nothing further.
Mr. Goes, any questions?
The detectives with these?
It's Nace. Well, you can buy either Nace or Nace.
Gotcha.
They
What?
do it a few times, either way.
Okay.
Nace at work, known as Nace at home.
I'd go with nays.
So confusing.
I'll make it easy. Detective.
Oh,
You said that you didn't actually make the scene.
that is true.
You're a detective in, what department?
Airport police, Central Airport.
And obviously you've had training and experience on how to canvas.
Yes, sir.
And you're quite familiar with this beat, that being the airport itself.
Yes, sir.
And you know, as a detective, as any good police officer, that if you're gonna be able to investigate the scene, you should go with it. Sure.
Depending on actually, what the investigation can provide.
Well, going to the scene would show you exactly, was there any physical evidence, like blood spatters on the walls from this alleged beating that the victim had allegedly sustained? Correct?
Sure.
You didn't do that.
Yeah,
You didn't have to.
I didn't.
You said that the video camera was from the concourse looking across, but didn't exactly, what was your words? It didn't exactly show. What?
It wouldn't have shown where people enter in, where the boarding areas would be.
Well, what about that? You heard the testimony today from Mr. Ritter saying that they had a discussion or approached one another, or it was approached. And on camera, and then went off. You could capture, they pulled that video to substantiate or to determine that he was telling the truth, not telling the truth, true.
Sure,
But you didn't pull that camera, did you?
I did.
You did pull that.
I reviewed in-house camera, yes.
Oh, did you put that to prosecutors? Put them-
No, because it did not reveal anything whatsoever.
Oh,
Did not find either the defendant or victim.
so in your determination, it didn't reveal the victim or the defendant, sure?
Correct.
Okay. I would respect that's not what you determine. Would you agree with me that
Not
you're not the only one to be able to make the determination?
Judge, I'm going to,
You should be able to make the determination as to what evidence should be presented to that. Now you can.
Judge, that's not relevant, and this officer is more than, he's 100% in a position to make that determination. If the victim and the defendant, neither of them are in this video, how is that relevant to this specific case?
Officer, if I can clarify.
It's his investigation.
If I can clarify,
Sure.
you said that you couldn't tell, not that they weren't doing it. Isn't that true? Process the testimony to me?
I said that I was unable to locate either one of them on video. That is correct.
Did you also not say that you couldn't determine if they were?
Well, tell or determine, I guess, a little bit synonymous in this case.
Well,
If you would,
okay, well, at the, given the time of when this allegedly happened, did you see two individuals that were in proximity of that location, walking in that direction to go walk?
I probably saw
Hundreds.
hundreds of people walking in that direction, yes.
But people that were dressed as they were employees of the airport at that given time.
Well, I'm not sure how they would dress.
Didn't you see the complaining witness when he was dressed on the body worn camera?
I did.
Did
but
you
I
not
didn't
also
see the
see,
defendant.
did you also not see how my client was dressed on the body worn camera during the interviews?
I would agree with that.
Well, there we go.
I saw what they saw.
So we could determine, based on the way that they're dressed, two African American males, one being over 6 feet tall, Mr. Butler, one being 5'9", Mr. Rivers. You could then, now you have some parameters to work with. True? So now you can narrow down, I'm looking for a much taller guy and a little bit shorter guy, African American young males, walking in that direction at that time stamped on that video. True?
True, if our cameras were that great, absolutely, I probably saw almost every case at the.
This is a federal secured area. Are you telling me that they don't have good quality video to stop terrorists and bomb things?
I'll take judicial notice that most of the video footage I see from the airport is no better than the average party store. Let's move on.
Gotcha. I wasn't there. Thank you for the information. What you do pull those video, or preserve that video?
Fair.
Okay. Is that video still exist or is it been
It
erased?
is- It is first, yes. I'm saying.
And it was not said.
It was-
Was that, could you have saved?
I could have, yes.
it?
Anything further for the detective? No?
Just one question, thank you. Sir, maybe two. How long have you been working at the Detroit airport?
Been at some air-
Sorry, you're on, meant to check.
Outside.
Check.
Okay, go ahead.
23 years at the airport.
And where the specific incident occurred, but you say you're familiar with that area.
Very.
How familiar? On a scale of 1 to 10.
23 years.
Okay, thank you, nothing.
And thank you. You can step down, Joe. Any other defense witness or prosecution witnesses? Any defense witnesses? I'm ready for argument.
We've been testimonies of questions that for and reserve any follow.
Thank you. Mr. Gozi.
Judge, you saw the manner in which the witness testified. You also have testimony from the officer in charge of this case as well, which gives rise as to the quality of the investigation with all due respect. About how and what is considered to be evidence in a case. What one person might think is evidence is another person's, what the heck is it have to do with that? And that's, I think, what we have here. You heard the witness say that they were in conversation with each other on video, in which he was told by the defendant to then take me over here, which he voluntarily goes for 6 years, with no cameras. He also took and going to the credibility of the complainant, which ties them together. You've had a beef with this guy. I've known him since you were little kids. But you had a beef with this guy a few months ago over money that you were quote unquote robbed. And yet this person, now you suddenly see for the first time after all this month, this person that allegedly robbed you, suddenly comes up to you and says, hey, let's go someplace where there's no cameras. And you voluntarily go there. Well, why would anybody do that? That makes no sense. Because I want to do something to you off camera, is essentially what that means. He then says that he was choked, in his testimony was very confusing. As I don't know if you really understood a lot of the questions you were asking. You saw the manner in which he testified. Very stilted, very halted. And I had some concerns myself. That being said, though, he then says that he went to the hospital and he provided prosecution, detective with that evidence. And asked the officer in charge, did you see that? No. Why? Because he never did. Because it never happened. Sounds to me like a fight happened over here. And that's good stuff. This is not an insult to things we get other times. If you had a medical record to support his alleged incident, injuries that he's sustained by a medical professional, then I might have to concede his question. But he didn't bring it, and he either lied or was mistaken about him giving it to the police because the police don't have it. So how can you make this assessment that this doesn't assault with first degree public strangulation based on the testimony of this person whom we saw here today, who I question their ability to. I'll leave it there. So I'm going to pass.
Mr. Mohammed.
I'll be brief in my response. I will just highlight one specific portion, and that this witness testified, they didn't say that they were just choked, but they went unconscious. So the degree of strangulation or suffocation, whatever it may be viewed as, was to a degree that led this individual to go unconscious. So I do believe that the testimony reflects the question of that, and I'm still looking for Weinberger.
You- Mr. Rivers' mannerisms and his just general demeanor was very, very much unusual from what I'm used to. But I think it's up to the trier of fact to determine what that says. I sat up here trying to figure out if he was agitated, if he was angry, if maybe there was some kind of a deficiency that I wasn't aware of, because it was just not the norm, the way he responded to questions. But I think all that goes to the trier of fact to decide what that means. Does it affect his credibility? I'm going to bind over. AOI date is December 10th, 9 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I just need 2 minutes to speak with Mr. Fox, and then I'll be ready for.
What do you mean? Yeah, just call him up. We'll get you a notice for that adjournment.
Okay.
This is the moment the courtroom changes. The judge stops being patient. This is no longer a warning. Every word now carries consequences. One wrong move, and freedom disappears.
Your client. Yeah. You get redone on